Hey, if you want to learn how to become an independent filmmaker or a filmmaker in general, I've got a book which I wrote with a buddy of mine. It's called Zan Azli and Wan Chun Hong's Guide to Indie Filmmaking. You can actually buy it off of here. I'm going to put the link down here at my website, fatbidin.com. It's only a couple of ringgit, and it's really good because it has many different chapters, the process of filmmaking, and each chapter I interview a Malaysian filmmaker who gives advice and tips of from their experience. So yeah, yay, link is down here. Yay. Oh, are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, you are watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club, and I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm sure you saw it.
And as usual, every week we watch a local movie and we review it. And this week, still under MCO.
Yes.
Still cannot go out. Cinema still closed until end of April. But
yeah, is it until April?
yeah.
Or longer even?
No, they said until 31st April. So 30th April, 31st.
Okay, this
so
week
we're
watching
to watch
a documentary
online
by a friend.
By Nik Jassmin Hew.
Yes.
Somebody that I respect very much. Scriptwriter to Sohor.
So she made a documentary about COVID-19.
Yes, it's called Dari Malang ke Kuarantin. So we're gonna watch it. There, see. Okay, so we have just watched
the 20-minute documentary
by Nik Jassmin Hew. Malang ke Kuarantin. Dari Malang ke Kuarantin. So it's not that you are Malang, nasib Malang to be quarantine, but she was in Malang in Indonesia.
Yes.
When the MCO or the
enforced.
lockdown was enforced in Malaysia, and then she went back on like the 22nd of March, right? So it's her documenting. You tell me what the documentary about.
You just did. Continue.
There, so like that lah.
Yeah.
So
it's a very short 20-minute documentary
documenting a trip back from Malang
a trip back from Malang
to KL.
KL Central, basically. Yeah. There's a lot of voiceover. It's a one-woman film.
Are we talking about what we think about the film now already?
No, I thought you wanted me to say what it was about.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, good. I spent
a lot of time in this review just being confused.
Yeah, me too.
What you want me to do? Much like our marriage. Anyway,
I know what I want you to do.
Anyway.
But then you always say got to wait for the mood lah, what lah.
Yes, the moon and the stars must be in the right place. Okay, anyway. There's a lot of documentaries. There's a lot of voiceover. And it's shot on her phone. It's a one-woman production, which you must always respect. And she speaks to many different people about their experience in this quarantine, many different stakeholders, and there's even a small contrast between like the people in Malang, how they react to the news of COVID-19 versus when she returns to KL.
But we do have to remember also this was like a month ago.
Yeah. So 3 weeks ago, more or less.
A month ago, even I wouldn't have taken it so seriously.
No. So that's what it's about. Okay, so what do we think of the film? It's short. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Number one, right? Nik Jassmin has always been very supportive of my work.
So now you must be nice. Nice things.
Right.
So this is not an honest review at all.
No, of course. No, I'll always be honest because she's honest with the work that she sees that I do. Right? She's like, oh, Zan's work is never rough, never slick, never what, always rough, very raw. But she always says that she admires the fact that, it's done.
So what are you gonna say?
And that's what I also feel about filmmakers also. You just got to do it. Don't give excuses, I like to make films where it's fast, it's easy, there's no barriers of entry, like I don't want to have I don't have equipment, cannot shoot or whatever. So, right, I think she kept to that spirit and she shot it on ad
her
hoc.
phone.
Yeah, on her phone, ad hoc. She was going back and I was like, hey, this is a chance to tell a story. And she told the story, which I've always admired. She's a scriptwriter that I totally respect. right? The scripts that she's written, the projects she's done. She's a great scriptwriter. I got a chance to work with her once on M for Malaysia.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, and like, wow, you know, scriptwriter to Sohor. Right? But with that being said, right?
Stop pointing your finger at Nik Jassmin Hew.
No, I'm pointing at the viewers.
Rude.
Right? I'm pointing at the viewers.
Don't be
right?
rude to her.
No, of course
Okay,
not.
yes,
Of course not.
But.
No, it's great that she told the story, right? It's very rough. It's very raw because it's told on the handphone.
Yeah.
Audio was horrible.
Yeah.
Cannot hear. So there were some parts where she put subtitles.
It would have
which
been
was great,
helpful
which
if it
great.
was fully subtitled.
Yeah, maybe fully
I felt.
subtitled
Yeah.
lah. But still, it was okay. You know, you
Yeah.
still get the message. You still hear the story, and I like the fact that she speaks. She saw things that we don't see as ordinary citizens, unless you're a journalist. You know, like I like the fact that she showed the emptiness of the airport. I have been wondering in my head how the airport looks like since the MCO, because flights are being cancelled, and I saw it in this documentary, and wow, it's totally empty. Empty, you know, and we haven't seen any photos or videos from actual journalists and news organizations showing how empty it is, like how this video showed it lah. It was real
Yeah.
for me, and I like that.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that she spoke to ordinary people. You know, the lady working the counter at the ERL, taxi drivers, you know,
Migrant
migrant
who
workers,
worked in the food court.
yeah, who like wanted to open the food court gerai and then say cannot. And then they like got a basket full of like
Raw
food
material, vegetables and
which then they
things.
said their boss said bawa balik lah makan, you know, which was great. She talked to like fellow travelers who were coming home,
Yeah.
right? Two scenes to me it touched me was when she spoke to the taxi drivers.
Yeah.
So when she was in the ERL train going back to KL Central, she spoke to this Malaysian who had come back from Tanzania. And then so the guy was explaining like, yeah, I work in Tanzania, coming back, I want to be with my family, blah 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 and all that. Then she goes out of KL Central, she meets these taxi drivers and they're telling her like real stories about how it's a struggle now. They whole day 2 customers. Jarak dekat-dekat only, RM40. You know? And then out comes that same passenger that she had interviewed, the one that came back from Tanzania in the train, looking for a taxi driver, connected with the taxi driver, and there got a penumpang. And there was a great scene.
Yeah.
And there was a great scene,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, I love that scene. And then she spoke to this guy from Sarawak who had only come to KL 2 months before the MCO
Yeah,
for
to find work.
And he was given like a hostel by the employers and all that.
Yeah.
And then the MCO happens. Hostel gets quarantined. There are too many people there, so some had to leave. He and his friend left, and they got a hotel, but they've got no more money, and they are owing money to the hotel management. I mean, the hotel letting them stay, but on that lah, you know. And yeah, these are stories that I felt like touched
So
me.
real.
Real. It was real, right? Yeah. So I like that. Yeah.
I think it's a very important documentary, and I think that she's telling a very important story because while the MCO is happening, the biggest thing I feel is that a lot of people are obviously confined to within your own, not just your own like physical environment, but also your own mindset lah.
I like that.
If you
Your
are
mindset.
if you are slightly upper class, then you're quarantined in like a big house. You've got a pool. You know, you've got access to Food Panda, and you know, finances are not an issue. Then
I
you're
don't-
just bored.
I don't want to say that we're rich.
We're not, but we're
I
comfortable.
so appreciate this small garden right now.
Yeah,
These
we're
3
very-
weeks that I
we
have
are
this small
quite
garden.
comfortable.
Oh my
We can
God.
order Food
If not,
Panda.
I could go crazy and I would like punch in the face.
You've come close. Anyway, so you've got then you've got like people like us, and you know, we've also we've also got our monetary concerns. And
Oh,
everything,
very
but
worried
it's not
about
the
work.
same.
Very worried about the economy.
So I feel like
Yeah.
this documentary represents
all this.
speaks for a lot of the people who don't have access to like Facebook to write long essays about how it's so difficult that they cannot go out to get materials to express their creativity, or to go out to, you know, do things at home, or you know, very first world problems lah, basically.
But it's also problems about money, you know.
Yeah,
Some of them
yeah.
is like so basic. I need to pay the rent for my taxi.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
like these
Yeah.
are real stories, and the MCO has bigger impacts than just you being bored at home, you having
Yeah.
to take care of your kids all the time, you having to help your kids with online learning, or you having to be bored, basically.
Trust me, I'm very worried about the
So,
economy and how we are going to move forward from this.
It's it's really connecting you to these kind of stories that are underrepresented and not and untold, really. So she managed to speak out for, I feel, a demographic that is not being able to speak out for themselves because they're too busy trying to survive.
Yeah.
And they're not really succeeding lah. If this was 3 weeks ago, then how is it going to, how are the state of these taxi drivers now? You know, when you cannot move 10 km
More than a month already, right?
Yeah, nobody's going out. So how are they surviving? And there was a scene where the taxi driver said the fleet company has even said, well, yeah, it's an MCO, but we don't care. You still have to pay your daily
You want to take the car,
rent.
you still have to pay. You know, which is quite sad.
Yeah, and he even said, oh, they said it's not my problem. What do you mean it's not your problem? The MCO is literally everybody's problem.
So, you know, you cut everybody slack
Yeah.
and everybody gets cut slack.
You have to cut people slack, you know.
Yeah.
There is no way people like taxi drivers can make a living in this economy unless they are doing like Grab delivery. But even then also, how?
If the taxi drivers can't afford to pay the rent, they stop driving, as the company owner also stops getting
Yeah.
you know. So it's like, it's a chain reaction, you know.
Yeah lah. So cut people some slack lah, you know. There is no room to be cruel to anybody in this current situation. And her film kind of reflected the importance of that, you know, for corporations to learn to be lenient with their employees and, you know,
We
lah.
are racking our brain also how to make our company move
Yeah.
forward, you know,
So,
after this.
yeah.
It's not like we are in a bed of roses or whatever
so
right
it's
now.
It's a very simple documentary.
Yeah.
It's very
Simple.
Simply shot. It's a very simple story. It's just about her coming back, but yet it's so important, and it gives a platform to so many different voices to speak to, and you have to really respect that she took the time to really speak to every single person that she met on every single juncture of that journey.
And that's the point, you see, if I may add, right? When she speaks to these people and you hear these people talking, they are telling you actual happenings, you know. It's not sound bites in a news clip.
Yeah.
It's not quotes in a newspaper. It's actually, they're telling you a story
and
with
it's
full expression and all that.
it's a full spectrum of real experiences, and that is really the strength of this documentary lah. And it's very humbling to watch actually, because like I've been totally bitching about the fact that I have to do like online kindergarten, because online kindergarten is
Because our younger daughter,
very
kindergarten
challenging.
they organize
Oh
like
my God.
online classes every day.
It is so challenging.
But it's good for the
now,
kids.
After I've watched this documentary, I'm like, you know what, I'll just like shut up and do it, because there are people who cannot afford to pay their taxi rent and have no place to live.
Yeah, it's not a nice situation that we're in.
Yeah, and it's
I hope everything like ends quick.
Yeah, we're getting so sucked up in our own experience of the MCO that we're forgetting about other people. Now, I'm not saying that you have to martyr yourself and like, oh my God, then what are we going to do about all these people or everything, right? But it's also good to keep in mind that while you think you have it bad, other people have it so much worse. That guy from Sarawak really like, I'm really worried for him.
Yeah,
like,
because
it's been 3 weeks.
Nik
Where
Jassmin
is he now?
Saw him sitting at the side of the road, and they're asking him, "What are you doing now?" Tengah cari tempat makan.
Yeah,
you know,
to
it's like
tapau.
to tapau. What? Wow.
Because you know he
Crazy.
probably cannot afford to tapau from like the big places, and then the more affordable places are probably closed.
Yeah.
And then now with this 8 to 8, because when she shot it there was no 8 to 8, you see, she shot it at about 9 something at night. Now with the 8 to 8 it's probably even worse lah, right? So yeah, thank you Nik Jassmin for making this really impactful documentary.
Now I'm going to be nitpicky. Because Nik
Don't be
Jassmin, I have to be nitpicky. Look, you've always been honest with me. I'm going to be honest too. Great documentary. We've spoken about how everybody goes to watch this documentary. But you know, the voiceover thing lah. Very
But that's because you don't like voiceovers.
Yeah, this is
It's
a preference. This is a personal preference.
Yeah.
Okay. Like for me, I like to show things.
Your face.
No, not necessarily me, my face if I'm shooting myself, but even if I shoot people, right, I would rather have people talking in front of the camera with movement rather than hear a voice of God narration. Just a personal preference. I know there are many
But
types
he
of
also
documentaries.
likes to show
out
his
there.
face.
I do. If I shoot with
Like,
me lah,
fair enough, you have
as
to
a
listen to
character.
his voice, right? You got to see his face also while he's talking.
If I'm shooting a documentary with me as a character,
Which is most of your documentaries.
most 98%. But the other 2% I've shot, I'm not in it, and you know, I still use confuse people to, yeah. But that's just a personal preference. I'm not saying this documentary is not good. Oh, yeah.
I'm okay with the voiceover,
Yeah, you
but
are,
only
you are.
because it's her and she's not like soups pretentious or pretentious at all. But I think if the documentary was done by an incredibly pretentious person, I would have been super annoyed.
Yeah.
Because personal preference, I also don't really like voiceover docus. But with her it was okay. I was okay with that. But I really wish it was fully subtitled, because I think that I really had to concentrate really hard to listen to some of the parts. And if people were not paying attention, the documentary would lose its impact, and I think that would be a real shame lah.
Because it's a good story.
Yeah, because it's such a good story. So it should be like fully like
And I like the fact that staying true to my punk spirit, punk DIY, punk rock spirit.
She's sojoed it.
She's sojoed. Yeah, and everybody who worked in the film that helped her out were all her friends. Zali, hey Zali, Art Fazil, who's the musician from Singapore, who she works with, she's friends with, and it's like, the part where was it Linda picking you up at the Kia Central where she was like fully like
over
like hazmat suit like that.
Then she's like, don't come so close,
that was funny, yeah.
She was sitting in the back of the car. She's just sitting in front.
Okay. So
watch this documentary. It's available on.
It's on YouTube.
We will link it.
We will link it. Okay, so watch this documentary. We would say. Yeah.
Yes, definitely watch this documentary.
You've got your Netflix and iFlix content to watch, and you've got indie stuff like
things like this. Yeah.
Yes, great.
So stay safe.
If you watch it, let us know what you think.
Yeah,
right. Tell us what else we can watch during this MCO. We've got another 3 weeks to go. Well, no, not 3 weeks. 16 days.
Ish.
On the day that we're recording now, lah. Right? You're watching it probably less days already, lah. But
14 days.
So don't like, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms. It's at Bidin, or go to fatbidin.com to get everything. I'm assuming wait, you're watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club. I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
Naim?
You're that person who I hope, things that I want to be done in this marriage that you would do without waiting for like moon and stars and all that.